Good day. Hope everybody's having a good one out there. I want to take just a few minutes to talk about Extreme. Now, I don't know if you've heard any of the new stuff that they've had coming out, but I'll tell you what, there once was a man who thought he was a wise man who claimed rock is dead. Well, Extreme would beg to differ, and they are really uh, just cranking out some hits. Now they already got three releases. The new one, which would be Extreme 6, is going to be you can pre-order it, by the way. Um, it's going to be coming out June 9th. From the time we're recording this video, we're a month and a half, something like that. Now, like I said, they got three singles out right now, and every one of these straight just awesome catchy riffs, straight up. The one Rebel, see, I only thought for a little bit they had released two in the same day, apparently, because I thought it was just Rise and Banshee that were out. Well, apparently there was this other one, hashtag Rebel, which hashtag awesome. For real, all corniness aside, it's really like anybody that, like, if you like got into a time capsule, in the late 90s, early 2000s or whatever, and left rock at that time, and then now came back to hear new Extreme, you'd be like, well, things have progressed quite nicely. Not knowing that there has been a little bit of a lull in the mainstream. Now, the independent music scene has been putting out a ton of awesome rock and roll, but of course, you'd never know about it in the mainstream. There's also a lot of bands from Finland and places like that, and Nordic bands that are putting out awesome rock and roll. In fact, there's a couple bands, one of them that I play on the show, that they do Southern rock. And it's like, where these guys need to tour with Leonard Skinner or something. I mean, there is some really awesome rock and roll out there. And I think people, get, when they just follow what's going on in the mainstream, they get kind of these blinders on to what is going on elsewhere. And I know it's not easy to keep up with all the music that's everywhere all the time. And that's where, radio and stuff like that can come in handy, because just depending on the algorithm to stumble into things, it feeds you a lot of the same, or a lot of things that are alike, where sometimes you need that diversity that you're looking for. You're not just looking for all the same thing, or bands that all sound in the same, type of vein. It's like, if I listen to one stoner rock tune, now that's all you're going to feed me. Where, no, I like some stoner rock. I also like some sludge doom. I would like to hear some nice rock and roll from Extreme. I would, and that's where radio still has a thing, I think. And I think that personal people, at least making, certain playlists, kind of fall into that, kind of thing, because they pick a category, so how it in some ways it can be a good thing and a good way to find music, and I wouldn't deny that playlists are awesome. They're a great tool, but they also can, if you just stick to those playlists or whatever, if you get, you miss out sometimes. But all that aside, Extreme is really, they're going to be, right now, the rock and roll that's going on in the mainstream, they're depending on the older bands, the legacy acts, to really push the rock and roll genre right now. All the big tours that are going on for rock and roll that are being talked about the most, or that's being, those are all legacy acts, and I guess Extreme does fall into the legacy act. But Extreme's making new music, and I'm not trying to throw shade because I know there's some people in the studios right now, which there's some mixed feelings about that, and we'll save that video for another time. But I really I think this is gonna help, even coming from the quote unquote legacy act. I kind of really don't like using that term, but it does break up the fact that the mainstream doesn't seem to be putting as much money into the newer rock and roll and putting it in the forefront as of yet. Now, I know some things going on behind the scenes that I can't talk about. I know some bands that are really carving their way and going to be seeing a lot more of that are in the rock genre, hard rock genre. But as of right now, the mainstream seems to be still coasting and putting a lot of the money into these legacy bands where they're more. It's a safer bet. If you're a big company, a big corporation, it's a safer bet to put your money into a fan base that you already know is there and that can be reinvigorated and then bring more fans in really easy. And this is a perfect example of that happening. I totally foresee that Extreme is going to gain a whole new generation of fans. They're slowly doing it now. And also that older fan base is totally going to be on board with everything that's going on right now. I have total confidence that they're going to knock it out of the park with this. I mean, these three singles, if this is any indication of what is going to happen with the rest of the album, this is going to be one of them A++ things that I think is going to reinvigorate some areas, and will also kindly place some egg on the faces of peeps that wanted to claim a certain genre was dead, or it might be on life support in some areas, and I do admit, but that's only in one area of music. The mainstream is not all of music, and by and large, there's a lot more different and quality music that can be found that's not on the mainstream, that will give you, and will scratch those itches, and will give you, traverse through Bandcamp, travel sites like that where independent bands are in the forefront, and type in some genres, look for some tags, and I guarantee you will be pleasantly surprised with all of just the awesome music that is going on in the independent music scene. You will say to yourself, why isn't this signed? Why isn't this big? Why is this not the next big thing? And that's a very good question. But we can totally look forward to this new album. I know I'm looking forward to it, and I didn't consider myself that much of a big Extreme fan. I know back when I was growing up, they pounded more than, if you could always depend, if you turned on MTV, More Than Words was going to be playing on on MTV. I mean, they played that at least 5, 6 times a day. And if you think I'm exaggerating, I'm probably not hitting the actual number. I'm probably off by a few. Like, as in, not as many. Because they played a lot of, they just would repeat blocks of videos. It got really, yeah. But anyway, for the sake of rambling on, go check out this new Extreme if you haven't already. The new hashtag Rebel. They got Banshee and the first one that they released, Rise. Duo, June 9th, man. This is an album that I'm looking forward to doing a full review on, for real. And I just got a chance to listen to the new Jethro Tull, so look through it for a review of that as well. And we got all sorts of news and goodies to talk about. We got a whole podcast playlist set up that you can check out. Down here we got merch. We got the whole kit and caboodle, as they say. So, hope everybody's doing good out there. Hope it's going as good as it possibly can be. Go check out this new Extreme if you're looking for some awesome new rock and roll. And I hope you're having a great day, and we will see you in the next one. Have a great day.